And then you're going to flip your upper so that the outside is facing up. And you've got your 1-inch binding tape, and you're going to measure so that you have enough to tuck the end under and place it along your bottom of your upper. And then give yourself a couple inches extra. So I'm going to tuck under the binding tape, line it up just with the edge of the lower, and I'm going to use these nice sharp quilting pins. And start pinning. And you want to make sure that your pin heads are all facing the same direction. When in doubt, go heavy on the pins. And they can either run perpendicular to the binding tape, or you can run them parallel. I run them perpendicular, but that's your choice. Everyone has their preference. Okay, and I'm going to run my pins all the way along, and then we'll come back and get right to sewing. When you get to the end, leave enough to tuck the binding tape under, trim it off, and then tuck it under. And the reason we tuck it under is that this is not a finished edge, so it will fray. So tuck it under. And give it a final pin. And we're ready for the sewing machine. Alrighty. If you're not familiar with sewing machines, you can watch our sewing machine basics video. Every sewing machine is different, so you need to learn your machine. But there are some key principles that you need to obey, and one is that you never run over your pins. You always take them out before your needle gets to it. And another one is that the foot always needs to be down. So find the lever on your machine, and that will put your foot down. You gotta put your foot down on this one. Okay, and you can drop your needle, and we're just doing a simple straight stitch. So find your stitch selector, select straight, and with this hide, the pigskin is a little bit thinner than the cow, so you can you don't have to worry about going through your machine as much, but I would still select a long stitch length. I've got mine set to about 3.5. So here we go, we're just doing a straight stitch. You go forward a couple strokes and then go backwards and find your reverse. Each machine has a reverse on it, and it looks a little bit different, but mine's here. So I just hold that, go back, and that just locks the stitch in place. I'm going to go forward, stop when I get to a pin. And if you can't quite reach it, you can lift your foot. Don't forget to put your foot back down. And you're not pulling your fabric through. You're letting the machine do the work. You're just guiding it. You can go as fast or as slow as you'd like, but the slower you go, the less likely you are to have to take out any stitches. When you get to the end, you can use the manual knob here to give it one more stitch if you need. And then I like to leave my needle down, lift my foot, rotate my whole work, press that down, put your foot down, and just keep going to the top. And then you can fold your upper, lift your foot, rotate, and away you go. And remember, this is that section where we cut on a little bit of an angle, so you can see there's a little bit of a dip, but just fold it along and flatten it with your hands. And again, you can use your hand dial to get really controlled stitching. Lift your foot, rotate your whole work. Put your foot back down, go forward, and then to lock it off, it's the same as we start. We're going to go in reverse for 5 or 6 stitches. And back. And you're done. Lift your needle, lift your foot, pull your whole work out. Some machines have a blade right here, which is super handy. Slice it off. Others you may need to trim with scissors. Give it a little finish trim at the back. And then check your work and make sure that you've got 2 lines and they are attached to the hide and the binding tape. And then you can flip your work and just trim any section that maybe you didn't cut your line very straight. Just trim that up nicely. And there you go. You're ready for your second upper. If you're just totally awesome and you've decided that you want to support us and purchase one of our kits, you'll receive a Lure the North logo patch. And if you're even more awesome, then you'll want to sew it on your moccasin. And usually we sew them on our uppers. And so I've got it here at about the center of the upper and about an inch up from the binding tape. And I'm going to sew that on. It's totally up to you, of course, if you want to use the logo or not. Some people like to put it on their backpacks, others like to put it on their moccasins, and other people will choose to use it as bookmarks or something. So either way, it's all good, but I'm going to put mine right on my moccasin, and I'm going to set my stitch selector to the longest stitch that I have. And that's because I'm going through 2 layers of hide. It's always a good idea to start with your needle down so that you know it's going exactly where you want it to go. And the logo tends to slip around a little bit, so if you pin it, that's going to really help it from rotating. So again, I'm going to go forward a couple stitches and then go back. Okay, and away we go. And you can go nice and slow. And sometimes with the long stitch length, your last stitch is going to go beyond the patch. So you can just lift your foot and slide your logo back a little bit. Leave your needle down. Lift your foot. Put your foot down. I'm close to my pin now, so I'm going to remove it. Go nice and slow here. You can even just manual sew. Lift your foot. Take your pin out. So we're going to go back, and that's it.